home of the UCLA Bruins and the USC Trojans. You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles.
The women of Troy are the reigning national champions in beach volleyball. Now it's a Pac-12 and NCAA sport, and their home weekend continues from LA next. We begin a new season of beach volleyball coverage on the Pac-12 network with the reigning national champions. USC has a top 2 ranking as they take on undefeated Florida State. The first part of a doubleheader in Los Angeles that will also feature LMU. A look at this week's national rankings with Pepperdine and USC trading spots after a windy match last weekend in Malibu. UCLA in the 3 spot, Florida State is 4th, and also representing the Pac-12 in the top 10, the Arizona Wildcats. And good morning from Los Angeles. We've got sun, sand, shades with the Olympian Holly McPeak. I am JB Long, and this year it's a Pac-12 and NCAA sponsored sport of sand volleyball.
This is so exciting for our sport, and USC specifically, this is their goal. NCAA title after winning last year. They've established themselves as the team to beat. Losing last weekend to start the season, but I still think they're the favorites.
A quick sign that they do have a target on their back. Now, as for the challenger today, Florida State, another great opponent, maybe the best they've played here on their home sand so far this year, and they've got new leadership.
Brooke Niles is the new head coach for Florida State, and she's really revamped the program. She said, you know what, we came in and changed the way we're doing everything. I love the way she coaches and plays the game, and her coaching staff is first rate. I think we should expect great things from Florida State.
The Noles still perfect on the young season, 8-0 after a victory over LMU earlier this morning. The first serve of the first flight, Noles and the women of Troy, next.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles, home of the UCLA.
Before your appointment starts.
We welcome you back to a Friday morning of beach volleyball at USC, a top 5 showdown between Florida State and USC. The two programs have split their first 4 encounters, with the Seminoles winning the first 2 and USC on a 2-match winning streak. The first flight beach volleyball is underway on the court to our left. Court number 2, it's Esposito and Luke for Florida State against Kremer and Zoe Nightingale for USC. We'll focus here on court number 1. It's the 4 pairing of Kayla Joyce and Annie Montgomery for the Seminoles, and Jenna Belton and April Bustamante for the women of Troy. Look at their records, 5-1 and 4-1 respectively, with the Olympian Holly McPeak, JB Long. Here comes a new season of beach volleyball on the Pac-12 network. Bustamante looking for the quick side out, and she's got it for USC.
Strong start with Abril Bustamante. Big swing cross court. I'll tell you, Florida State ranked number 4, upset UCLA number 3 yesterday. So this has been a great road trip for Florida State, remaining undefeated.
Now 8-0 after that 3-2 triumph over the Bruins. Belton looking for 2 quick points, and USC grabs an early lead.
Nice level so far. Jenna Belton for USC dropping off the net, digging that ball, and putting it away for another USC point.
Freshman from Redondo Beach, listed as 6 feet tall. Serving Joyce, and there's the first point for Florida State.
When we talked to Anna Collier, the head coach for USC, she talked about Abril Bustamante making the transition to a full-time defender.
Montgomery, a senior from Sarasota. Serving Belton, the Trojans in transition.
First switch now on court 2.
This rolls it over the net. Kayla Joyce, who's known as a pure defender, levels a score at 2.
Beautiful short roll shot to the middle of the court. That's a tough one to defend when you're balancing the court as a team defensively off the net.
Belton beats the block and gets one back.
That set was a little inside, but Jenna Belton doing a good job getting her feet there, beating that ball down the line. You'll see Jenna Belton, the lefty from Aptos, California, running to the net after she serves this ball. USC likes to have a full-time blocker.
And she caught the line with an ace service.
So that means one player specifically will play defense, one player will serve and run to the net and block. Backcourt ace from Jenna Belton for USC.
Lefty brings another. Serving Kayla Joyce. Now this is one of a couple new pairings on the 4 and 5 courts for USC as they look to replace seniors Bria Russ, Ettinger and Norton from last year as well.
Correct.
Last year's championship squad.
Jenna Belton was playing with senior Bria Russ, and now she's playing with a freshman. Big adjustment, but she's got a year of experience under her belt, and Abril Bustamante is very physical for USC.
Breaks the tie on court 2. Haley Luke back to serve.
After the first switch, Seminoles bring the serve. Belton's left hand wins it.
Kayla Joyce in a great spot to overhand dig that ball, but misses.
As we pointed out off the top of the program, new leadership in Tallahassee with Brooke Niles taking over. So far, so good.
Back to serve.
Here comes Montgomery. Off the block, it's Kayla Joyce, and we want to give Holly a chance to extend a happy birthday to a friend and colleague.
Absolutely, Brooke Niles, 35 today. Great competitor. She's going to be a fantastic asset for this Florida State program. Great person as well.
I think we mistyped 25. How did that happen?
Yeah, she looks 25. Something happened.
It's a 5-4 lead here on court number 1, the 4 pairing. Belton and Bustamante looking to improve to 5-1 on their season, this young pairing.
Court number 1. The Seminoles are serving.
Belton looking to split the Noles, and she does. Anya Collier had some interesting thoughts on her freshman Bustamante, who you have worked with in the junior ranks. She loved the fact that she just has the competitive instinct. Even before this coaching staff had a chance to work with her, she's a natural in that respect.
Absolutely. She's a gamer, and those are the people you want representing your school. Now she's making the adjustment. She's always been a split player, so she blocks part-time, plays defense. Now she's really learning to be a pure defender, and that's a big adjustment. Jenna Belton drops off the net. That ball shot out of bounds. Pressure's on the hitter when the dropper or blocker drops off the net.
They serve Montgomery. She'll take a swing here. Picked up by the women of Troy. Bustamante adjusts. Best rally of the match so far, and it goes to USC. And ideally, that's how USC would recruit. They'll split if necessary, but they like the designated defender and blocker.
Yeah, when we talked to Coach Anna Collier, she said we want somebody, a strong blocker dominating at the net, and then a nice athletic defender who can put the ball away when she digs it.
Get a good look at that in our top pairing of Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes, the reigning pairs national champions, later this afternoon.
Annie Montgomery, for Florida State, tooling the block. Kayla Joyce, a nice, scrappy defender so far, and Anna Montgomery, the blocker for Florida State.
Seminole seniors trail it by 3. What a beautiful shot by Annie Montgomery. Rolled it right over the tape.
Well, she had no option. She touched the ball on the block, had to bump it over. And if you're USC, you need to be ready. She doesn't have a good angle to go anywhere else but there.
This pair 4 for Florida State is known to be pretty consistent. They don't make a lot of errors, maybe not as physical as some of the other tandems for Florida State.
Florida State, this particular pair was very good versus Loyola Marymount this morning.
Bustamante sets Belton. Here comes Belton with a big left. Tough overhand dig for Kayla Joyce, and the point goes to USC. Let's take a look at their head coach, a legend here in Southern California. And on the sand volleyball courts, Anya Collier has built the greatest beach volleyball program in the new NCAA sponsored sport.
She's really come a long way. She talked about her first year here at USC, watching the level going, oh my gosh, are we ever going to get there? Because most of these players had only played indoor, had no beach experience, and that is a big transition.
See the growth under her leadership, and it's now turning out in recruiting and also scheduling, bringing in a program like Florida State. You look at the slate that we're going to have for you on Pac-12 Network this year, great competition.
Starting at 3-1 back in 2012, going undefeated and winning the title last year.
Montgomery to the back corner.
Up by 4 on court number 3 now. And that is an exhibition.
Annie Montgomery has a nice jump float serve. She jumps straight up, pops it in good location down the middle.
Montgomery cuts it across for the point for Florida State. They're within 2. This race to 21.
On court number 1. On court 2 out of the technical timeout.
Again, Annie Montgomery, sharp cut shot. Good hand control, nice ball. And then there's the tough serve I saw a lot against Loyola Marymount this morning. Jump float, tags the back line down the middle for Florida State point.
Senior from Sarasota. I'd venture a guess that she's played some beach volleyball on Siesta Key, the beautiful white sand of coastal Florida. Bustamante went on 2 there. Now off the mark with her dig. Score tied at 10. A match so far that's been dominated by USC, back to level.
This Florida State team is consistent. They'll keep coming at you with some nice defense, some tough serving. You have to execute on your side of the net if you're USC.
See if the women of Troy can get this side out. They do. Belton goes down the line, the sophomore from Aptos, California. And at the break, USC has a 1-point lead. We'll step aside. The first flight underway between Florida State and USC. It's a top 5 national showdown.
Brought to you by Nissan. Get great offers on 5 exciting
UCLA Bruins and the USC Trojans. You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles.
First flight of beach volleyball underway here at USC. The tandem of Joe Kremer and Zoe Nightingale have a 14-10 lead over on court number 2 in the 5 pairing. We've been focused on court number 1 and pair number 4. And we pick things back up on court number 1 with USC serving ahead by 1. Kayla Joyce and Annie Montgomery level the score again.
Good deep shot by Kayla Joyce down the line. Jenna Belton retreated. Good read on that, but Abril Bustamante was already there.
On court number 1.
Belton and these side outs so important because this tandem for Florida State is known for dominating from the service line.
This time Jenna Belton, the lefty, tooling the blocker's hands out of bounds. You have to be very disciplined as a blocker, pressing both hands over the net, and that time Montgomery was late on the press.
Cross-court shot down for Annie Montgomery, who's majoring in sports management, along with a minor in hospitality.
If you're USC, you really need to establish your control of this particular match. Montgomery and Joyce are solid and can win this match.
Back to serve, but now yield serve to Haley Luke.
Belton gets the kill after that rally.
Good scramble play by Florida State to keep it alive, but USC scoring the point with a small advantage in this first set.
Set number 1. Set point for the women of Troy now on court number 3. And a block for the
Kremer and Nightingale pulling away over on court number 2. That's the 4 pairing. So 2 points at stake here in this first flight.
And the Seminoles 16.
Tipped over the top, Annie Montgomery.
Great roll shot right over the block by Montgomery for Florida State, tying it up.
Goes into the net on court 2. Nikki Esposito back to serve for the Seminoles. Tied at 13 now on court 1.
Florida State continues to serve Jenna Belton, and USC sides out for a 14-13 lead. Let's go over to court number 2 and check in on the 4 pairing for the first time this afternoon.
Taking the opening set on court 2.
USC with the advantage. Zoe Nightingale, a grad student for USC, and Joe Kramer, the freshman, with the 18-12 advantage.
They switch sides again on court 1, this time tied at 14.
Down the line, it's Nikki Esposito, a freshman from Deerfield Beach, Florida, with the kill. And she is a pure beach player, which is a great advantage for Florida State and this Brooke Niles coaching staff.
Yes, Brooke Niles said, hey, this is a girl who's grown up on the beach, hits a heavy ball, knows the game, and has worked herself into the lineup.
Kremer goes down the line. Esposito picks it up. Now she'll get a swing. And she beats the block of Zoe Nightingale. You and I are still adjusting to seeing Nightingale in USC colors after all the years of watching her indoors for UCLA.
Yeah, 4 years in the blue and gold for UCLA, but now at USC finishing grad school here.
Big serve from Haley Luke.
And the Lewis White spike goes into the net.
Florida State on a little run with some tough serving from Haley Luke, number 34.
Kayla Joyce back to serve. Timeout call on the court.
When we talked to Coach Anna Collier, she talked about this particular team at 5 for USC, Zoe Nightingale and Joe Kramer, really giving Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes some nice challenges during practice.
Our first Pac-12 network broadcast of beach volleyball this season. 5 matches of pairs, the format. The best of 3 wins. First flight features the 4s and the 5s as we see currently. All 3 courts will be in action in our next flight with pairs 1, 2, and 3. The first couple of sets go to 21. If a third set is necessary, it's to 15 and it's win by 2. So after the stoppage, we go back to court number 2 and pair 5, where Kremer and Nightingale for the women of Troy are closing in on a first set. And here is Haley Luke, the sophomore. She's known as the rock of this tandem while they fluctuate her partner and try and get a comfortable duo. There's a kill for Zoe Nightingale, who follows in the footsteps of Meg Norton from UCLA, as you pointed out.
Correct. Zoe Nightingale, so physical at 6'3". She's got a beautiful platform. Learning to play this beach game. This is her second year. But first, here at USC, she can be dominant at the net as a blocker.
What a shot to the back line and down, and they're within 1 of the opening sets.
What a scramble play by Joe Kramer to pick that ball up, and then Zoe Nightingale to put it over the net on the back line.
So, Holly, what do you think the closet looks like if you're Zoe? I mean, do you bring some of the Bruins apparel with you to campus? I can't imagine that translates across town very well.
Well, my guess is the blue and gold got kind of pushed to the back and is hiding for now.
That goes home for the summer.
Depends who she's hanging out with, her Bruin friends or her Trojan friends.
A good opening set win for the combination of Joe Kremer and Zoe Nightingale. They're just 2 and 3 on the season, but you can perhaps see them start to pick up some traction.
Yeah, slow start, but last weekend they were playing at Zuma Beach, where the winds were out of control. Anything can happen. It was their first weekend competing as well.
We're told that Anya Collier actually likes these 2 up against her number 1s. They give them the best challenge on the ladder.
That's what I was saying earlier. Because of the size of Zoe Nightingale at the net, they can really give Kelly and Sarah some fits. You see Abril Bustamante down on the ground. She was apparently hit in the head with the knee. So they're checking her probably for a concussion before they release her to play. Concussion protocol has become such a huge part of sports at every level, especially the college level.
And in this sport, when a player is down, typically our assumption, even though we didn't see it live, is that maybe if they got hit on a kill attempts. But this actually is player-to-player contact, we're told.
Yeah, and a knee is much harder than a ball. So it's interesting because when I competed, we never had concussions, but we weren't aware of it.
Let's see if we can pick it up here.
I'm going to find out for sure.
Ooh, to the back of the head. The ball was set on top of Abril Bustamante. Jenna Belton was just looking for the ball, didn't even see her partner, just trying to get the ball over the net. It's interesting for this particular team we saw earlier, they've run into each other a couple times, and that's kind of a chemistry thing, knowing where the other's going to be, knowing where to push the ball, so that does not happen.
USC with an opening set win on court number 2. Their second set underway as it looks like we're going to be able to resume here on court number 1. As you see, just a 1-point set at the moment.
Abril Bustamante obviously passing the protocol. I know her well. She has a really hard head.
Put up back to serve, nodding up at 1. Early action set 2 on court number 2. Ready to resume action now on court.
Joyce and Montgomery have hung around, like I said earlier, and now up by a point.
Montgomery to serve. And of course she chooses Bustamante. That's a great kill and a good sign for the freshman from Redondo Beach.
Abril Bustamante wants the ball, so she's like, fine, keep serving me.
So a side out for the women of Troy. This first set tied at 17. Jenna Belton, a print and digital journalism major. Montgomery a bit deep.
Great idea to attack that deep middle when the blocker drops. Just missing it like 4 inches long.
So after the injury stoppage, the women of Troy get back-to-back points. They take the lead at 18-17 on the switch.
This has been back and forth this whole first set for both teams.
Another lefty serve from Belton. She chooses Annie Montgomery. With the block up, well placed.
Looked like the defense for USC was off because one blocker was covering the line, and Abril Bustamante was on the line too. Good pass, nice set. Both of them had the line covered. Wow, open hand tip called on Abril Bustamante. I thought she hit that off the blocker's hand. I did hear Bustamante ask for a set a little bit more off the net from her partner.
Important side out attempt here by the women of Troy. And they're able to pick it up.
That was a big one. Now Jenna Belton at the net. Abril Bustamante serving. Her serve has been pretty good lately. Can she push it to 21 for USC?
Block drops off. Unable to pick it up, Jenna Belton. So the total moves to 20 now. Set point number 1 for Florida State.
Annie Montgomery has been moving the ball around the court really well. Nice hand. If I were USC, I would serve the other player.
Bustamante, a big right hand, picked up, dug well, but USC gets the point. Back corner shot from Jenna Belton.
Big time play, and yes, Jenna Belton found the corner. Nice dig by Kayla Joyce to keep the ball alive for Florida State.
Service miscue at a costly time. So set point number 2 now for the Noles. A senior tandem for Florida State against a freshman and sophomore for USC here on court number 1 on the first flight of beach volleyball. Oh, that caught the line. And it's an opening set win on court number 1 for the 4 pairing.
Well, interesting. I think USC got tentative with their serve and then made a service error at the end. But Florida State went for it, ending with an ace.
What beer may I fetch you, my lord?
What about that Red's Apple Ale?
You're a genius, Tiny. This applesauce is the bee's knees.
The cat's pajamas.
It's you right in the kisser.
Red's Apple Ale, also in strawberry and green apple.
The opening set on court number 2 to your left went to USC. The opening set on court number 1, the 4 pairing, went to Florida State, the Seminole seniors, and so we'll go to court number 1. Don't worry, we'll get to court 2 for the conclusion of that second set. Potentially a clincher for USC, but we pick up Kayla Joyce and Annie Montgomery against Abril Bustamante and Jenna Belton. Belton, a cross-court kill.
Nice swing, beautiful set by Bustamante. Jenna Belton and the USC Trojans need to be more aggressive, especially against this team of Joyce and Montgomery. They've been solid, they hung around, and then we were able to steal it at the end of the first set.
Montgomery gets the swing. Here comes Belton again, going over the top and catching the line.
Second corner pocket for Jenna Belton. Good ball. She dropped off the net as the blocker, dug the ball, and then a nice ball high over the line for the USC kill.
Holly, when you say more physical from this USC tandem, what does that translate to in beach volleyball?
Well, I want them to be more aggressive. I feel like they were kind of playing safe, and this is a good, scrappy, experienced team for Florida State, so they need to be more aggressive, especially from the service line. Put the pressure on Florida State.
But Belton can hit the middle too, not just the corners.
Good on-to transition by Jenna Belton, the lefty. No block at the net.
So just as they did in the opening set, Belton and Bustamante out to an early lead here in the second set. You were very complimentary of Montgomery, who gets another kill there. Her ability to move the ball around the court in that first set.
Yeah, she's the bigger player for Florida State, and USC continues to serve her. I think they should try Kayla Joyce, the smaller player, and make her beat the big block of USC.
Belton. Everything's falling for USC when they get it in the hand of Jenna Belton. 5-2 their lead at the change.
USC playing much better in this second set. Bustamante and Belton have upped the level, more aggressive, scoring when they need to.
First year player for the women of Troy, back to serve.
Moving action on court number 1. Out of the technical timeout now on court number 2.
They continue to serve Montgomery, and she continues to make USC pay. All right, to court number 2, where the score is 12-9 in the favor of the women of Troy, looking to close out and pick up the first point for USC.
Beautiful cut shot by Nikki Esposito, the 5'10" freshman from Deerfield Beach, Florida. Deerfield Beach, Florida used to be a hot spot for pro beach volleyball. She was probably a child growing up watching it at that point.
Nightingale the bump set. Opportunity here for the Knowles. Looked like a bit deep.
USC with a 3-point advantage. Zoe Nightingale has some nice size at the net, really puts some pressure on her opponents.
2 points away from ending the match on court number 3. Again, that is an exhibition match between the Seminoles.
Haley Luke with the right-handed kill. Redshirt sophomore, Altamonte Springs, Florida. Starting setter on the indoor team, but was an outside hitter in high school.
Her coach, Brooke Niles, talks about her physicality. She's one of the only college players who will serve a topspin jump serve and run to the net to block.
Kremer lets it go. Another point for USC. I want to continue that thought on Brooke Niles and what she's doing in Tallahassee. This is a program that's had a lot of success, competed at the highest level. They're off to an undefeated start, but they're definitely retooling some things behind the scenes.
Definitely. Brooke Niles said, hey, you know what? We changed everything, and the girls are adjusting, but they're buying in, and she's so complimentary of her coaching staff. She's got Hector Gutierrez from Spain, who's fantastic, a great drill master, and Tracy Weimer is a volunteer assistant. She plays on the AVP tour, and she can really push the level at practice. So the combination of those three is really helping the training and the elevation of their level.
And they've been on the road. They've been on the West Coast and the Western Time for the better part of this early season. Chance to go home next week.
This is their spring break, so it's nice in terms of competition. They're able to come out and just focus on volleyball.
And a serve for Zoe Nightingale. And the USC lead grows to 17-11.
Zoe Nightingale pops this jump float right down the middle. I love that serve.
So a couple of transfers on court number 2 for USC. We mentioned Nightingale's ties to UCLA. Jo Kremer came from Notre Dame following the fall 2014 indoor season. See the presence of Nightingale at the net there. Stuffed by Haley Luke.
Wow, Haley Luke put up a big block on Zoe Nightingale, who had a point-blank opportunity for a kill.
This pass there by Jo Kremer gives Florida State another point, making things interesting now on court number 2, trying to stay alive.
An aggressive serve is so important. It sets up your defense and allows you to score easy points like that one.
Gets the point. Limited Joy out to the three-point edge on court number 1, trying to even up the match.
Florida State scores in transition. Again, it's Nikki Esposito.
4-7.
Made her first career start against number 4 Long Beach last week.
And you see her finesse. She knows the court. Zoe Nightingale is dropping into the angle. Most players drop line, but she saw that, puts it away nice and short.
Ooh, that's 3 in a row for Florida State as they rally to stay within contact of Kremer and Nightingale. Look at the explosion of this beach volleyball sport year by year, and now an NCAA sponsored sport.
The fastest growing sport in NCAA history, and 36 more projected by 2021. I think there's going to be even more.
Now USC has the last 3 tandem champions, the pairs champions. Unfortunately, that will not be a sponsored event at the national championships this year. You think that's unfortunate, Holly?
I do think it's unfortunate. If you're a great doubles team and you're at a school that doesn't have 4 other great teams, then you don't have a chance to get into that NCAA tournament. I think they should bring back that pairs tournament. Hopefully they will in the future.
We will see the pairs champions, Kelly Clays, Sarah Hughes, upcoming here at USC, where the women of Troy have won 19 straight home matches, hoping to keep it alive against number 4 Florida State back on court number 2. And the women of Troy finally able to get that much-needed side out.
Haley Luke doing a good job dropping off the net, digging it, that time just unable to control it.
3 points away.
So now 3 points away from a straight sets win over Florida State.
On court number 1.
Esposito gets the swing here for the Noles.
Beautiful finesse shot, court vision by Nikki Esposito. Zoe Nightingale's big at the net, but you can shoot around her. That means there's only 1 defender back there.
You must know that coming into a match against Zoe Nightingale, right? That the finesse may be your best option?
Yes, for sure. There's the jump serve ace by Haley Luke down the middle again. That's where most teams are having success scoring aces.
That's 5 of the last 6 points for Florida State. They're back within 1 deep in this second set.
You definitely don't want a team like Luke and Esposito hanging around. We saw on the first court Florida State steal it from Bustamante and Belton.
Serve Nightingale. Good pass to Kremer. Block falls off. She goes cross court with the kill.
Beautiful block by Haley Luke, but USC able to control it and go right back at him. Florida State dropping a lot against Jo Kremer, putting the pressure on her when she's off the net. That time, Kremer with the kill.
A good effort there by Nightingale, could not reach it.
That was a point scoring opportunity for USC lost. They really needed to control that ball to finish that match.
There are a couple other options for the 5 pairing for USC. In fact, we expect to see one of them later today in the duel against LMU. More on that to come as USC is able to pick up the side out and move within 1 on court number 2.
Good kill by Jo Kremer. Nightingale's putting her right on top of the net because Florida State choosing not to block her.
Nightingale up with the block. Esposito over the top, picked up again. Kremer takes a swing. One more for this match. And she's got it. 21-15, 21-18. Kremer and Nightingale get their 3rd win together in this young season.
Kremer and Nightingale look really strong. Kremer running down some good balls and putting the ball away with no block.
We'll step aside just a foot off Figueroa here at USC. The conclusion of set number 2 on court number 1 after this.
Out on the town, network, where champions play.
Merle Norman Stadium on campus here at USC, where the Trojans have a 1-0 lead over Florida State in this top 5 national showdown. It's the best of 5, and we're still in our first flight. We go back to court number 1, where the Noles just took a 15-14 lead over Bustamante and Belton of USC.
Kayla Joyce and Annie Montgomery for Florida State have been solid this whole match. They've just hung around against the physical Belton and Bustamante and have done a really good job executing.
Belton blocked by Montgomery.
Jenna Belton has been moving it around the court, but this time Annie Montgomery jumps into the angle with success for the Florida State point and block.
On 2, perfectly placed.
Great pass by Belton, allows a Bustamante to put that ball away on 2. This is go time for USC. They need to execute.
Sticking with the plan of serving Annie Montgomery, aren't they?
Well, if a team's hanging around with you, why not switch it up? And they haven't. Florida State's right where they want to be. Annie Montgomery receiving the serves and doing a good job siding out.
Deep with the kill attempt, and Florida State wins that scramble. They've got a 3-point lead.
Started with a tough serve down the middle, getting USC in side-out trouble.
Timeout USC here, as they're trying to stave off elimination in the second sets. Now, Kayla Joyce played with 5 different teammates last season. It looks like she's found a keeper in Annie Montgomery.
Well, earlier in the season, Brooke Niles talked about this team being a little inconsistent, and she said it's frustrating because this is one of the strengths of this team together. When they're playing well, they are consistent.
Talk about the evolution of beach volleyball, now a Pac-12 and NCAA sponsored sport. That has ramifications for the student athletes. They have to schedule 8 matches, 3 of them duels for the new teams. Up to 6 scholarships, which is fantastic. And players can play both indoors and here on the sand. And we've said this a few times now, but we can't wait for the first NCAA championship 2016. Again, USC, the reigning national champion.
And the sport has really evolved. Some programs have all their indoor players playing beach, like Loyola Marymount, but they're starting to get beach-specific players. In programs like USC, all these players are beach-only athletes, and that's really the evolution of the sport. In order to compete at a high level, You need to play this sport full time.
Second set and maybe the match at stake here on court number 1. Joyce with the great dig, couldn't kill it. We'll get another chance here. Blocked by Belton. Looked like net contact perhaps. Holly, is that what you saw?
Kayla Joyce was in the net, ball set a little bit tight, but Belton with the block. That's a break for USC. Down 2 points, really fighting for their life in this match.
Gives the sophomore Belton the serve. Montgomery beats the block. She's been incredible.
Annie Montgomery in a great rhythm. She played fantastic this morning versus Loyola Marymount. And I don't know why USC is not changing the strategy in trying Kayla Joyce.
How big would this be for the Seminoles to come away with a first flight split on these two courts?
Well, I think it's really important if they want to win this match. This program, Florida State, they're undefeated on the season, so they're used to winning.
Service error there by Annie Montgomery. Comes at a poor time for Florida State. Gives USC the service, and the women of Troy back within 2.
USC needs to be aggressive from the service line.
Montgomery continues to kill it.
Continues, exactly. Mix it up. If it's not working, you have to change it up. And these are experienced volleyball players. Abido Bustamante and Jenna Belton, they need to be able to adjust on the fly.
Match point number 1. And Belton able to save it.
Good kill down the middle, but I don't think USC is going to change their strategy.
Annie Montgomery leads Florida State to a win on court number 1.
Great playing by Kayla Joyce and Anna Montgomery, and for the team of Abido Bustamante and Jenna Belton, disappointing first match, but strategy was the key for me.
22-20, 21-18. Kayla Joyce and Annie Montgomery come away with a Seminole split here on our first flight.
With a 100% electric out of your great at SoFi.com.
After the first flight, it's Florida State and USC with a point apiece, the best of 5 in this top 5 national showdown in beach volleyball. Coming up later today, USC will also play host to LMU under the leadership of Tom Black, who has, for the first time, a full-time beach volleyball coach in John Mayer. Welcome to our Pac-12 Network booth. Thanks for joining us for a few minutes.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Now, you've been a volunteer assistant with the Lions for the last 4 years, but what an investment this program has made in the sport of beach volleyball, bringing you on now in a full-time capacity.
Yeah, I think the university has seen the growth of the sport and knows that if we want to be competitive, we have to put more into it, and it's exciting to see that the university is and the direction we're going.
Now, Tom Black, he's always been a proponent of using his indoor players on the beach. Are we still going to see that going forward, or are we going to see more sand-only athletes?
Yeah, so this year, the 12 girls we have didn't touch the beach until January. Moving forward, we're going to have a small group of beach-only athletes that will play, starting in the fall. So we'll have about 4 to 6. We're looking for about 3 teams that'll play year-round.
And how do you balance? You're still a professional. You're the MVP, reigning MVP from the AVP Tour. How do you balance being a professional and being the head coach here at Loyola?
I've got a lot of great support. First, with a good family, a great wife who supports me and is behind all of it. And also at the university, Tom oversees the program, and he's done such a good job, beach and indoors, that and he's just so supportive of my playing. So. They're behind it, and I think it helps. I learned from my playing. I think it helps my coaching, and the coaching helps me be a better player. So I think they work together.
And how special is it to have a player like Betsy Flint, who's been through the program, now a top pro? She's the AVP Rookie of the Year. You've got a talented staff. What does she mean to your program?
She means everything. I mean, I think the girls respect her so much. You know, most of them played with her, and they've seen her go through it, and you know, they just saw the season she had last year with Sarah Sponsel. I think they were, you know, the #1 or #2 team in the country, and just to have someone like that on our staff is invaluable.
Florida State and USC have split the first 2 matches of the opening flight. The next flight is warming up, and we'll get you to those matches as they begin. But continuing our chat here with John, how about a preview of your Lions, who we will see later this afternoon? Unfortunately, some injuries on the top court, I understand, keeping this group from maximizing maybe the wins. Yeah, you know, we were thin already. We had such a small group, and we've had a couple tough breaks with some injuries. But yeah, you know, it's not an excuse. I think we have 10 girls who can play, and they'll get out and play hard. And we're excited to play at, you know, one of the best teams in the country, a team that was undefeated last year, and we're just looking forward to the opportunity.
Is this a rebuilding year for Loyola Marymount?
I mean, we're always looking to build and get better. I don't know if we'd use the word rebuilding, but I think the direction we're going is going to be better. The players we have coming in, we're so young this year. We have, I think our 5s is a high school senior and a freshman. On our 1s, we have a freshman. You know, we got so many freshmen out there who haven't played much beach, so we're really young, and we like the way we're going and where we're going to be the next couple of years.
LMU and USC coming up later this afternoon here on the Pac-12 Network, the second part of our doubleheader. John Mayer, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Continued success both with your coaching and playing endeavors.
Thank you.
All right, Holly and I will be back with the second flight and the decisive flight between FSU and USC.
The 2016 Kia Soul has more total interior volume.
Pac-12 Network beach volleyball coverage continues from USC, where the Noles and the Trojans will decide it in this second flight. It's a best of 5, and there's a match apiece so far. Back with Holly McPeak, JB Long. How great to be here doing sand volleyball, beach volleyball on a Friday morning turned afternoon here at USC. So they split the opening flight. Your reaction to what you've seen so far?
Well, disappointing for USC, but nice for Florida State. Really good performance by, Luke and Esposito. Joyce and Montgomery. There's so many names in my head. Joyce and Montgomery were fantastic for Florida State, solid the whole match.
Let's start on the 5 pairing, which went to USC, and it was a new tandem of Kremer and Nightingale getting the first win for the women of Troy.
Well, Nightingale and Kremer really struggled last weekend for USC, but got another chance today. They've been practicing well, and it paid off for USC in the 5 spot.
So that finished first. They got a 2-set victory. There was the clinching kill from Joe Kremer. But then we went back to court number 1, where the Noles got a 2-set victory of their own. USC made the decision to make Annie Montgomery beat them, and so she did.
She absolutely did. Annie Montgomery was fantastic in the morning. Anybody who scouted that match would know not to serve her or to serve her a lot tougher, and USC never made the adjustment at 4s.
So the 4s go to the Noles, the 5s to USC, and now the top 3 pairings are on the courts. And again, in this race to 5, majority wins. Florida State has not dropped a duel so far this season. USC trying to regain their top national ranking.
I think it's exciting, tied 1-1. These matches really matter. Usually if somebody's 2-0, they've got a pretty good advantage, only need to win 1 of 3. Right now, one of the teams has to win 2 of these.
On court number 1, you and I have only been waiting for this for, what, about 8 months, 9 months, to see the top duo of Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes back on the court. They'll get a great test from Julie Brown and Jace Pardon.
Jace Pardon, one of the best young players in our country, and she's got a strong partner as well in Julie Brown, but Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays, defending champs as pairs from last year.
We'll also get you to courts 2 and 3 as well. One of these sides looking for 2 out of the 3 victories to get the dual win. Brown and Pardon won both of their matches in straight sets yesterday as they continue this West Coast swing. Meanwhile, Clays and Hughes, the reigning pairs champions, undefeated on their season so far. 5 wins, no defeats. Jace Pardon, the redshirt senior from Manhattan Beach, back in California with the opening serve.
Alexis Strange back to serve with the early 1-point
Block up
lead.
from Clays, but the first point to FSU.
Jace Pardon has a great jump float serve. She had so much success earlier this morning against Loyola Marymount, just serving them off the court.
A 5th year, she knows it's her last. She's in the best shape, the best conditioning of her career, and feeling healthy too after a season-ending injury during a match against LMU last March.
And that's what we're hearing from seniors. They feel like this is time they really want to take care of business their senior year, and Jace Pardon is no different.
Well-placed kill by Kelly Clays. Think this tandem of Clays and Hughes comes back better, comes back improved even as reigning national champions?
Well, according to Coach Anna Collier, she says they're a better side-out team this year. And, you know, they're the team to beat. So there's a target on their back. Everybody aiming and looking to beat them.
Julie Brown and Jace Pardon take a 2-1 lead. Both their victories yesterday in straight sets.
On court number 2 is number 25, Tori Paranagua.
Some indecision there. It looked like Clays wanted to let it go.
Julie Brown, she's standing on the ground, just line drive down the line. Kelly Clays left side, and Kelly Clays does not get her platform out in time.
Court number 2.
Sarah Hughes for the first time down the line with the kill.
Florida State testing out Sarah Hughes after the ace on Kelly Clays. My rule is if you ace somebody, go right back at them.
On court number 3.
Junior from Fullerton back to serve. 44-3 last year. Clays and Hughes, a school record for victories.
Foot fault by Kelly Clays. Her toe got the back line. You are allowed to jump over it, but you cannot touch that line. You have to start from behind the line.
And as I look at the footprint, I do believe the official got that one correct. They go back to Clays on the service, and she goes down the line.
This time, Kelly Clays took care of the pass. Good high line shot. I expect this to be a battle right here. Jace Pardon and Julie Brown match up really well with Sarah and Kelly.
Those improvements that the #1 tandem for USC made, not necessarily on display last weekend in Malibu. You pointed this out earlier, but you and I were both here in Los Angeles last weekend. Winds gusting up to 30 miles per hour. Those are not the conditions you want to play beach volleyball in.
Absolutely not. Anybody can win in those conditions, but USC responded and were really strong on Sunday.
Big time dig by Hughes, who sends it over on the free ball. On 2, it's Clays who puts it away.
Well, you see the speed of Sarah Hughes defensively. She is so quick with her feet. And then Kelly Clays. Watch this. Okay, that's the first dig. The second dig that won them the point is not shown there, but Sarah Hughes, fantastic defender, makes things happen.
Picks out Julie Brown with her serve. And there's the stuff from Kelly Clays.
When Sarah Hughes digs like she's digging and Kelly Clays is pushing over the net, she can give teams fits. And notice USC testing out Julie Brown, not going at Jace Pardon, trying to keep her out of the equation.
Example just as you called it. Julie Brown over the top of the block this time. Clays at 6'2".
Good execution, high line shot, starts with a good pass. Jace Pardon puts a beautiful set up there and over the line. Good execution for Florida State.
With the hot shot for the eliminatory point.
Here comes Kelly Clays. Located the open spot perfectly. 6'5", USC takes the lead.
Well, it starts with the pass, but the pass set rhythm is so important, and Kelly Clays sees the angle block, good court vision because she passed the ball in front of her. That's why they're a better side-out team this year, according to Coach Collier.
full repertoire on display here for Kelly Clays. You're right, her offense has gotten better.
Yes, Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes for USC spent the summer competing on the beach together, and that kind of experience just makes you better and more confident.
They won a pair of NORCECA qualifiers, did they, together over the summer?
Correct, and a bunch of CBVA Opens.
Julie Brown handled a very tough serve and then dinks it in front of Clays.
Great execution on the roll shot. Kelly Clays, as the blocker, saw the set was off the net because the pass was off. Good decision to drop, but that ball dropped right in front of her by Julie Brown.
What a powerful kill from Clays. That's when she's at her best, off a perfect set.
Well, Sarah Hughes compliments her so well. Watch the pass. The pass, little bit to the side. Sarah Hughes just puts it up there, and Kelly Clays knows what to do with it.
I mean, reacting to that bump set, could she have done any better?
No. And that's what makes Sarah Hughes special. She is a winner, and she always has been, just elevating the level of whatever team she's on.
Now a junior out of Mater Dei High School. Serving Julie Brown. That's wide.
Julie Brown feeling the pressure of Kelly Clays, reaching her hands over the net in her face, and Sarah Hughes running balls down behind that block.
Julie Brown played in the 2s, 3s, 4s last year. This is her first time being at court number 1. And she's now facing maybe the best in all of college volleyball.
She is, and she's up to the challenge, but that time ball set a little bit wide and tight, struggling there with the big block.
So Clays and Hughes building a 10-6 lead on court number 1.
Good start for Kelly and Sarah for USC, playing solid volleyball, playing the way they want to play. And that was really important. Coach Anna Collier for USC said, look, we want to dictate the level of play. We don't want to be dictated to. And first match of the season against Pepperdine, they felt like they didn't control the level.
Got to say hello to Dane Blanton. Always great to stop by USC and see him in his Pac-12 network off-season, right? Instead of being on the air with us, he's out here working on the sand.
And, you know, it was funny because he wanted to let me know that, you know, we lost, and it's not that big a deal. It's actually really good for our first-year players to see that it's not that easy to win. You need to put the work in. It's not going to happen automatically.
Can never show his resume without a mention of the Bachelor run that he had back in 2000.
Well, he wasn't actually on The Bachelor. He was a candidate to possibly become The Bachelor. So that's, I don't know, a little bit misleading. But a great guy, great coach, and a fantastic motivational speaker all over the country.
What a loss for the Bachelorette. That's all I have to say. Another stop by Kelly Clays as you get a closer look at our colleague Dane Blanton.
Kelly Clays is way over the net, sealing what you want your blocker to do every time. Kelly Clays a little too aggressive right there as a blocker. Net violation.
Holly, the inverse of the match we saw in court number 1 with Montgomery for Florida State, right? They picked out a target and she was having great success and it cost USC. Now I feel like they're exploiting Julie Brown just a little bit until she can show she's up to the challenge.
Absolutely, and most people aren't up to the challenge against Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes. You see Florida State challenging Sarah Hughes, but they've gone at Kelly Clays as well. So trying to test out, serve tough, figure out where you can score points and go on runs. Nice set, and look at the high attack by Sarah Hughes. She's 5'9", but powerful and dynamic. Gets up and attacks a high ball.
Sunglasses off now for Kelly Clays with some cloud cover. And another blocked point for USC.
I'll tell you, as a coach, trying to teach a blocker to reach over the net and cut off the angles, it's really hard to describe. But if you're watching Kelly Clays right now for USC, she is doing it really well.
Her timing in this opening set has been flawless on everything except the serve. For the second time, she commits a violation.
Another foot fault. Usually that happens when your toss is a little too in front of you, and that's what's happened the last couple times.
So 13-8 USC on the top court. Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes when we come back.
Home of the USC Trojans. You're watching Pac.
Fight on.
3 matches underway, USC and Florida State. Whoever wins 2 of them wins the duel here in Southern California. On court number 1, the women of Troy have a 13-8 lead. On court number 2, it's Florida State by 1. And on court number 3, the Noles also lead by 1. After FSU and USC split the opening flight, back underway. Court number 1, the top pairing, the reigning national champions, Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes.
Wind just picked up, and that can be a factor. Ball control, tough serves.
Hughes with the service. And that time Julie Brown gets the point, but I think it speaks volumes about what USC has been able to do, that Jace Pardon, one of the best players in the country, has been largely neutralized so far.
Well, if you don't serve her, all she can do is set, and she's just setting up her partner for kills.
Hughes cuts one across, and a diving Pardon cannot get there. 15-9, the USC lead.
I like the way USC is executing right now. Very sharp cut shot there by Sarah Hughes with enough pace to beat Jace Pardon, the defender.
I mentioned the wind kicking up. The temperature has dipped as well. There are thunderstorms in the forecast for this afternoon in Los Angeles. Trying to beat the weather. Hughes picked it up, but no option for Kelly Clays. Now a 5-point advantage.
Sarah Hughes has been setting up Julie Brown for that ball, standing in the angle, waiting to bait her into that line shot. At that time, just unable to control the dig.
5th-year senior Jace Pardon to serve. Delicate touch by Kelly Clays, perfect spots.
Well, angle block, Kelly Clays is really identifying and seeing the defense. Well, easy shot over the angle block. Jace Pardon's ready for that hit down the line.
The game just appears to be moving so slowly for her at her tempo.
Once again on court 3, tied at 14.
Julie Brown again. Block falls off, and she gets a point.
Great execution. Julie Brown going up and hammering that ball. Good set by Jace Pardon right on. Kelly Clays late drop. Ball is a little tight. She probably should have stayed and blocked that one for USC.
Resuming now after the side switch on court 3.
Hughes goes down the line off the block of Brown.
Good aggressive swing by Sarah Hughes. She's 5'9", and a lot of players like to attack the smaller player, but Sarah Hughes doesn't count. She plays big. She is not your average small player.
Probably learned a little bit from her older brother Connor, who played outside hitter at UC Irvine, was a member of the Anteaters 12 and 13 national championship teams. Sister Lauren also plays volleyball, Fairfield. Brown able to work around Clays.
Sarah Hughes is doing a lot of what I used to do as a defender, kind of baiting her in to hitting a particular play, and that time Julie Brown just went a little sharper. But you just play percentages. If somebody executes perfectly, you're not going to dig every ball. You've got the whole court as a defender. You just have to play percentages.
Service miscue from Jace Pardon there, puts it in the hands of Hughes. Clays trying to go on 2, thought she had a window of opportunity.
Great dig by Sarah Hughes, waiting for that line shot again. Julie Brown has showed she likes it. Sarah Hughes picking up on that.
Late rally here by Florida State, and the wind gusted right as that serve was taken. I wonder if it factored in.
Well, I'll tell you, Florida State earlier this morning, it was all about their service game, and they haven't had any success in this match so far.
This is the only court on which USC leads currently. Anticipated perfectly by Hughes. Now she tucks it in the corner.
Love it. I love her foot speed. So fun to watch. Not only does she read it, she doesn't even have to dive. She is there on her feet, and then good disciplined approach and kill shot.
kill. Point for the women of Troy.
A rare opportunity in this opening set for Pardon, and she puts it away.
Number 1. Back to serve there, number 21, Jace Pardon.
Jace Pardon needs to have some success from the line, get her serve going so Florida State can score some points.
Florida State's all-time wins leader. But this first set goes to Clays and Hughes, looking to stay undefeated on their young season.
Clays and Hughes looking solid, great execution all the way around.
On the other two courts, the women of Troy lead one. The Seminoles lead another. Opening sets, second flights here at USC.
You're watching Pac-12 Los Angeles, where champions play.
The women of Troy took the opening set on court number 1. The Florida State Seminoles answered on court number 2 with a first set victory. And on court number 3, it's currently 2018, the women of Troy. Holly McPeak, wave your magical wand and pick which court you would like to see.
Right now, I want to see court number 2. I want to see Bukovic and Strange for USC. They lost the first set to Florida State.
Ask and you shall receive. To court number 2, Sophie Bukovic and Alexa Strange, a junior and a senior respectively, looking to side outs against the Seminoles, and there's a big kill by Bukovic.
This USC team is so physical. I felt like they were kind of a question mark last year in terms of chemistry, but the physicality of this team, they could be one of the best teams in the country.
Nina Pelletieri and Tori Paranakwa, a sophomore from Austin, Texas, the pairing for Florida State. Scramble here, settled in by USC. Pelletieri will get a swing. Goes cross courts, dug by Strange. Diving effort, Bukovic. Now a free ball to the Seminoles.
Net violation by Alexa Strange. Alexa Strange usually stays back and plays defense, but she's a strong blocker. That time a little too aggressive, net violation, and Florida State wins that long rally after winning the first set as well.
A quick update from court number 3, where USC also picked up an opening set victory.
Go up by 1 as she drops back to serve.
Big time swing by Bukovic. We've seen a couple since joining this junior. From Toronto via Long Beach States.
Sophie Bukovic is from Canada, very physical player. She and Alexa Strange were part of the national championship USC team last year as well.
And the Seminoles getting 1.
Net violation by Victoria Paranagua. She goes by Tori, number 25, trying to keep that ball alive for Florida State.
A dual citizen of the United States and Brazil. Bilingual, speaks English and Portuguese. Majoring in international affairs in this Olympic year, and we're going to Rio.
Coach Brooke Niles for Florida State calls these her gamers. She wants the game on the line. She wants them in it. They can split block. Both are pretty physical and experienced on the beach.
Bukovic just hitting heavy balls over there on court number 2.
Sophie Bukovic looks like a different player from last year. She was always physical, but she just looks so much more confident and knows what to do with her physicality. Boom, to terminate that big USC point.
The Florida State pairing that they're up against is undefeated. The Noles are undefeated overall at 8-0 as a team, but this pairing 7-0, improving to 8-0 this morning.
Big block and then put down by Sophie Bukovic. USC better start in this second set, up 5-2. Little cover play set 2 tied, and Sophie Bukovic just patrolling the net and owning it for USC.
7-0-3 on court number 1.
Another transfer pairing. Bukovic, we said, from Long Beach State, where she played indoors. Strange via Nebraska. Both of Alexa's parents, Greg and Tara, attended USC. Second generation Trojan, ready to serve.
Alexa Strange is very physical, big defender who can really dominate a match when she's on.
As you see, Florida State got the opening set on court number 2. The women of Troy took the first set on 1 and 3 as Strange gets it back.
Beautiful pass, great high line execution. She is up there, tough to defend that ball when the blocker can't even touch it.
In the second set.
Block falls off. And a miskill opportunity there. Nina Pelletieri, a senior from Deerfield Beach.
Well, Sophie Bukovic, she's really quick. She makes her presence felt at the net and then drops off the net. And the blocker or the hitter thinks she can hit that ball, making an error. It puts a lot of pressure on the hitter to put that ball down with no block at the net.
Service ace off the tape. It's interesting that Bukovic, even though younger in terms of class year, has kind of taken the leadership role. You've seen the captaincy on her uniform there.
Yeah, I like that. I didn't see that last year from her, but Coach Anna Collier said she's playing at such a high level, and I can tell, I think it's obvious that she's really up the way she's playing the game.
Parnaqua misses deep, and it's a commanding 9-3 lead on court number 2, where the women of Troy are looking to force a decisive third.
One of the things Coach Anna Collier for USC really talked about, she talked about, you know, her USC volleyball team really elevating the program and pushing the athleticism, but she talks about twinship, which I call chemistry. Chemistry in beach doubles is so important, especially in the women's game, and that's one of the things she really pushes in her program.
Honey Collier, a former track and field star, volleyball, swimming, you name it, she did it. Top 10 finishes 10 times as a pro beach volleyball player.
Track and field was her #1 sport, but she has a passion for beach volleyball. Spent the summers while she was in college playing, and she was actually one of my first coaches on the beach. Great motivator. We had a lot of fun and a lot of success together.
Also great in the classroom, right? A faculty member teaching kinesiology at Santa Monica Junior College, where she spent the past 35 years. Sometimes I think there are 3 or 4 or 5 of her with all that she accomplishes in a day. Parnaqua gets a kill for Florida State as action continues on court number 2.
Both teams, Florida State has Tori Parnaqua, the lefty, and then on the other side of the net, Alexis Strange, 2 left-handed players who are very good.
Parnaqua also a prep swimmer, so she and Coach Collier have that in their backgrounds. Strange will not get a chance. Bukovic went with the set on 2, and it pays off.
You don't see a lot of hand setters, but that time Sophie Bukovic, because she sets with her hands, she has high contact, goes back over the net. That ball came out clean. Florida State almost came up with it.
Maybe a touch of indoor influence there from the former indoor player at Long Beach State. Strange back to serve. Majoring in politics, political science, and law. You see the line there? I couldn't tell.
It looked like it missed from my angle, but the referee coming down off his ladder, checking it out. He's saying it's in.
Coach Collier was right there as well, working with the #2 pairing. It goes to the Noles.
But USC still up by 5 in this second set, playing much better than they did in the first set.
Seminoles now within 2 points on court number 1. McKay Spartan back to serve again.
Bump set for Strange. Just cues it off the block of Pelletieri and gets the USC point.
Well, good adjustment by Alexis Strange for USC. She's left-handed, but she goes up and pokes out with her right for the kill.
On court 1, technical timeout. Go to Troy 12, Seminoles 9.
A lefty kill. It's a clean one for Alexis Strange.
That's what makes Alexis Strange good. She's long, she can scramble, she's quick, and then from off the net, she can put that ball away. Nice offensive range.
Low burrowing serve by Bukovic, too. Kind of set them up to get that point off their service.
Well, a really flat line drive towards the middle of the court. That's a tough ball to pass inside out.
Martin now serving on court number 3 for serving 9.
Bukovic up with the block. Pelletieri gets a swing. Strange with the left-handed dig that goes askew. Still a 6-point lead over the Seminoles.
USC making it hard for Florida State, touching a lot of balls defensively. This time, Alexis Strange can't come up with it for USC.
Good touch by Bukovic over the top of Paranakwa.
For USC, it starts with a great pass, and then Alexis Strange delivering a fantastic hand set. Takes a lot of confidence to use your hands to set, and Alexis Strange has that.
Joust at the net, and it results in a USC points as the left-handed swing from Paranakwa goes begging.
Well, Florida State's not taking care of the ball. That's an easy transition free ball, and it was set too tight, and then they missed on the second attempt.
Strange continuing to serve Pelletieri. Pops off the tape and down for a much-needed Florida State side out.
Yes, USC has all the momentum in this second set. It's all going to come down to the third.
We'll step aside and check on the other courts here at Merle Norman when we return.
Or watch on Pac-12 Now.
Courts 2 and 3 appear at the moment destined for a third set. So we'll leave those momentarily and zoom back in on court number 1 for this dynamic pairing of Brown and Pardon against Clays and Hughes. USC took the opening set. They're ahead 17-11 in the second.
Every time I look at this court 1, Sarah Hughes is digging a ball and bombing. That means Kelly Clays is delivering a nice transition set, and this USC team is just rolling in the one spot.
5'10" junior Sarah Hughes to serve.
4 points away from getting the second point for the women of Troy.
Julie Brown able to defeat the block of Kelly Clays.
Julie Brown, we've seen a lot of line shots, that time cut shots. The part of her game where I think she needs to make an adjustment is her blocking. I think she needs to line up a little more on the ball instead of protecting an area in order to stop the big hitters for USC.
Block falls off. Hughes goes all the way to the back line.
That is an awesome shot. The rainbow shot with 2 down and well executed. It's not an easy one.
Drew a big smile from her teammate Kelly Clays, who's back to serve as they look to close out a straight set victory. A cross-court kill by Julie Brown. It looks like Clays has dialed in that jump serve after a couple of foot faults in the opening set.
Definitely. Julie Brown that time very aggressive. It's so much pressure to get every serve and have to face the defense of Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes.
The Seminoles dead.
Quite a rally won by Hughes.
There's the tight set in transition. Julie Brown dropping too soon. That ball set tight. You have to stay as the blocker. Otherwise, Sarah Hughes has that tight ball, able to put it straight down.
2 points away from victory now are the women of Troy and the reigning national championship pairing. Pardon with the kill off the retreating Clays, but Clays and Hughes will remain reigning national champs indefinitely because, as we mentioned earlier, there's not going to be a pairs championship in this first year of NCAA competition.
It's really unfortunate because you get to see great teams from great schools competing in one big tournament. But for now, I'm just excited it's an NCAA sport.
Defeated Betsy Metter and Sarah Sponsel from LMU, 21-12, 21-18 in last year's final. Did Clays and Hughes.
And Betsy Metter is now Betsy Flint. She was the AVP Rookie of the Year. Great player and coach. She's a volunteer assistant for Loyola Marymount University now.
Big time kill by Clays. And just to finish the thought, Sponsel is redshirting this year, I understand, and will be back with a vengeance in 2017.
Correct. She's taken this time. She's going to wait and train and just get better and focus on getting a strong partner for next year.
So after the change, it's set point and match point number 1 for Kelly Clays.
The serve goes in it. On court number 2, point for the Seminoles.
Hughes with the finishing kill. 21-14, 21-15, and USC picks up another team point. Their lead now 2-1. We zip over to court number 2, where USC just got a second set victory, 21-13, so that's headed for a third. Parnagua and Pelletieri, Bukovic and Strange on court number 2.
Well, Florida State on court 2 started really strong, but now USC evening it up. It's going to be a fun, exciting third set.
Meanwhile, the top pairing for the women of Troy did their part. Kelly Clays and Sarah Hughes victorious in 2 sets. USC in front 2-1.
How many gasolines clean?
Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
With rain in the forecast, so far the weather has held here in Los Angeles, and USC with the victory on court number 1 has taken a 2-1 lead over Florida State. This matchup of top 4 teams in the national rankings. We go back to court number 2, just underway the third set between Nina Pelletieri, Tori Paranacqua of Florida State, and Sophie Bukovic and Alexa Strange of USC.
Nina Pelletieri starts with a nice cut shot to get on the scoreboard first. I just got an alert from the Weather Channel, says it's going to start raining at 12:59. Let's see how accurate that is.
See if we can finish the second flight and get a decisive victory one way or another between USC and Florida State. Did they say if it just rain or maybe some thunderstorms?
Just said rain expected to start.
We can play through rain. Better than wind.
Absolutely. No lightning. We cannot play through lightning, but everything else goes. Wind and rain.
Decisive third set to 15, win by 2. A joust. It continues. Free ball to the women of Troy. Strange pops it up. Oh, and it's cut across the top of the net by Sophie Bukovic.
Bad break for Florida State. There was a net violation on the first play at the net.
Over to court 3 for the first time. Our first look at Nicolette Martin and Allie Wheeler, who took the opening set, but are in danger of dropping this second set. Currently 19-15. Vanessa Frady and Sierra Sanchez for the Seminoles. This is Sanchez who will get a swing. Cross court picked up by Martin. Nicolette Martin can't kill it. Sanchez deep. And the point goes to USC.
Tight action. Nicolette Martin and Allie Wheeler, best friends, roommates, have played together for years. Anna Collier has a lot of confidence in this team. These girls have a ton of experience together when the match is on the line.
Be hard-pressed to find a better number 3 pairing. Because of who's ahead of them, sometimes they go overlooked here at USC.
I agree. But right now, Florida State really pushing them.
Wheeler serving Sanchez. Big time dig by Martin. Great rally here. Can the women of Troy win it? To the back corner and down. Nicolette Martin delivers.
Crunch time, and that's Anna Collier's team right there battling, coming down back from a deficit. Look at that hand set by Allie Wheeler, and then Nicolette Martin, the pokey to the corner. Sierra Sanchez for Florida State dug 2 or 3 balls and just could not put them away in transition.
Gonna hang with Nicolette Martin and Allie Wheeler. We've mentioned before that Martin's a major in fine arts, just a tremendous artist whose work has been featured here on campus. I noticed today that the stone volleyballs outside Merle Norman have been repainted to look more like the balls that they're playing with here at USC. and I found out she actually did that artwork.
I saw that on Facebook. I was impressed. They look great. Nice addition to the courts here.
Well, Cardinal in gold outside. Very welcoming. What a great place to watch beach volleyball. Just a step off Figueroa across from the Galen Center. And as you alluded to, this is the tandem for USC that Coach loves to have on the line. If there's a third set, she wants this group on the court. But, of course, if they can win it in the second set, so much the better.
And the reigning Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Pair of the Week for winning all their matches last weekend.
That's an inaugural award here in the first season that Pac-12 Beach Volleyball is sponsored in the Conference of Champions.
Florida State with a 2-point lead, but USC won the first set. Can Allie Wheeler and Nicolette Martin come back and steal the second set?
Wheeler from Saratoga, California, in Northern California, went to Archbishop Mitty High School. Frady with the swing. Cuts it across. And Florida State is within one of forcing a third set.
Vanessa Frary from Florida State, big cut shot. Before that, USC was really working on Sierra Sanchez, that time going at Vanessa, number 12.
Martin deflected off the block and down. The women of Troy stay alive in the second.
Nicolette Martin has a really nice jump serve. She's good at scoring points. Let's see if she can do it right now.
Instead, it's Frady claiming the second for Florida State.
Big aggressive side out by Vanessa Frary, and great set by Sierra Sanchez. That one's going 3.
And just like USC, at the 3-court has the reigning conference tandem of the week. So too for Florida State. They've joined the CCSA. This is the CCSA pair of the week. So more on court number 3 as they begin their third set. Let's go to the third set already underway at court number 2, where Florida State has an 8-2 lead.
Make that 9-2 with the dribbler. I'll tell you, after the second set, USC had all the momentum, but right now, 9-2 in the third set. It's a race to 15. Florida State with a huge advantage.
Pelletieri Paranacqua pairing still undefeated, 8-0 on the season. Big time dig there by Paranacqua. Make it Pelletieri, but she's stuffed by Bukovic.
That time Bukovic wins at the net, but Florida State feeling confident with a nice cushion.
Sophie Bukovic back to serve.
Only to 15 again this third set. Let's see who Bukovic picks out with her service. She goes to Pelletieri, who misses wide. Asking for the deflection.
Point for the women of Troy.
The point belongs to USC.
Wow, I thought there was a touch at the net, but the referee didn't see it, and it was right in front of him. He has a better view.
Tough middle serve by Strange. Diving play. Bukovic with the block.
2 big plays by Sophie Bukovic. She first got Florida State in trouble with a really tough serve. Scramble play keeps it alive. And then look at the press over on the net, blocking that ball for USC.
Bukovic this time into the nets. And Florida State has reached double digits, 10-5 their lead.
You see Hector Gutierrez, the assistant coach for Florida State, keeping his team emotionally fired up, giving them energy. They've got a nice cushion in this third set for Florida State with 10-5 lead.
Against the pairing from USC that reached the quarters of last year's AVCA pairs bracket before they lost to the eventual champions and their teammates, the number 1 pairing.
Too much heat right there. Florida State unable to control it.
Back to serve on 3, 1-1.
See if Alexa Strange can do some damage with her serve.
Strange serve to
2 critical points given away with service miscues by the women of Troy. See if Paranaqua and Pelletieri can close this out. 11-6 their lead. Big time kill down the middle, Sophie Bukovic.
Interesting, Florida State going at Sophie Bukovic, who wants to hammer the ball. They feel like they match up better against the big hitter.
Tough short serve, just creeped over the top of the net. Paranaqua couldn't handle it.
Sophie Bukovic for USC, just BB down the line. That ball is dropping so fast, got nice velocity on it.
Number 3 is a switch sides in set number 5.
So now 11-8 as they switch on court number 2. USC has a 2-1 team lead with third sets underway on courts 2 and 3. Just underway over on court number 3, and it's USC with a 3-2 lead. We'll get you there after the conclusion of this third set. Anya Collier with her final instructions. As we mentioned, it's the first year that beach volleyball has been a sponsored sport at the NCAA level, also here at the Pac-12 conference level. And Pac-12 Network is going to bring you coverage as USC hosts the inaugural Pac-12 Beach Volleyball Championships in late April, early May.
It's really exciting. I get to be here to cover that, but Pac-12 Network's really dedicated to covering this sport. First year, it's an NCAA sport, and Pac-12 Networks is the only channel across the country that's really committed to covering the sport at this level.
Paranaqua gets the kill and gets Florida State within 3 of the win on court number 2.
I like the way Florida State is playing, and then Nina Pelletieri, the smaller of the 2 Florida State players, is where the USC was working earlier, but now they've gone to Tori Paranaqua, the big lefty, who's got some nice offensive range.
Pelletieri played with her older sister Stephanie for 2 seasons at Florida State, now in her second campaign with Tori. Must-have kill for USC, and Bukovic delivers in a big way.
Big physical player, really doing a good job. You see the confidence. She's telling Alexa Strange what to do. Starts with a good pass, and then boom, lots of power across court. Paranaqua was right there, just couldn't come up with it.
Nicolette Martin with the kill. Women Troy go up by 1 on court number 3.
Bukovic with the block. Now takes a swing. Here come the women of Troy.
Good touch at the net again by Bukovic, and then on 2 for the kill. Florida State needs a side out right here.
Seminole spike goes into the net. Point for the women of Troy.
Pelletieri receives. Bukovic wins the joust.
If you set the ball too tight right now, Sophie Bukovic owns that net. Nothing is getting past her. Look at that nice reach over. You have to, if you're Florida State, give your hitter room. But I like the momentum right now for USC coming back from way down in this third set.
Rolling behind the service of Strange. Easy dig there. Alexa Strange down the middle, and it's tied.
You can feel Florida State getting really tight in this third set with such a big lead, and now USC playing free, doing what they do best, aggressive plays at the net.
From down 11-8, it's tied at 12 on court number 2. Pelletieri again. Well placed.
Clutch side out for Florida State. USC went on a big scoring run there, but now Florida State up by 1. And it's a race to 15.
Win by 2 on court number 2. Quick update, it's tied at 6 on court number 3 and that third set as well. Seminoles have to win here on court number 2 to extend the duel. Bukovic has been clutch.
Florida State continuing to go at her, but I think she's playing pretty well.
Set number 3
This comeback, she's made a lot of big plays for USC, and she wants to hit the ball, so stay at the net and block if that's what she wants to do.
Pelletieri receives. Here comes Alexa Strange. Free ball to the women of Troy. Block falls off, and Pelletieri picks up the kill.
Big kill by Nina Pelletieri, number 3. Alexa Strange was stuck at the net because of the scramble play, and she drops before she sees the set. It's right on. Nina Pelletieri with the kill for Florida State.
Do or die side out here for USC. And it's Florida State claiming court number 2. Nina Pelletieri, Tori Paranagua stay perfect on their season.
Wow, Pelletieri and Paranagua fought hard, hung in there when all the momentum was on the other team's side. That's a huge win for Florida State.
So it's tied 2 apiece, and everyone rushes over to court number 3 here at Merle Norman Stadium for the decisive match between Nicolette Martin, Allie Wheeler for USC, Vanessa Frady, and Sierra Sanchez for Florida State.
And guess what? Anna Collier said this is the team she wants, fighting for the win. Nicolette Martin, Allie Wheeler, been playing together a long time, battling it out.
Quite literally, her quote on the phone this week: if I ever have a match on the line, I'm hoping they're playing the 3rd set to win it. Wouldn't you know? Wheeler going for the dig there, but the point belongs to Florida State. There's such a crowd over there at court number 3 that our view is obstructed. We're going to have to watch off the monitor here, Holly.
I'm going to stand up. I want to see what's going on. I can't see lines, but I can see the players.
Perfectly placed towards the back line. Nicolette Martin extends the USC lead.
10-7, Allie Wheeler is going to serve and run to the net for USC.
This pairing 5-0 on the season for the women of Troy. Frady cuts it across and down.
Vanessa Frady, so good, an improved blocker, nice cut shot right there. Florida State is stronger when Sierra Sanchez is in the backcourt, Vanessa Frady at the net.
Sanchez serving Martin. Nicolette Martin.
Nicolette Martin fired up, number 35 right there. She wants it for her team. Everything on the line. She's feeling the energy. Everybody gathered around this court. Pressure's on them.
Frady cross court.
Huge side out. Vanessa is not afraid. Big swing for Florida State. Brooke Niles, the head coach for Florida State, right there talking to her team. She's as competitive as they get. Pushing her team right now.
Here comes Wheeler. Over the top of the block. Rolls it over Sierra Sanchez. And it's 12-9.
Allie Wheeler gets out, nice roll shot down the line. Vanessa Frady can't get there for Florida State.
Junior from Saratoga, California brings the serve. Big time dig. And it's stuffed. Vanessa Frady in a big moment for FSU.
Big time, battling back right now. This is a close point-for-point 3rd set. There's the strong block at the net.
A service miscue. We've seen a few of those. 3rd sets on both courts 2 and 3. Martin and Wheeler now 2 away from clinching the victory for USC as a team. This is Sanchez. 13-11.
Big side out down the line. Florida State hanging around. They need a big dig right here to push it.
Rain starts to fall as they continue on court number 3. There's the dig. Free ball to the women of Troy. Martin regroups. And it's out.
13-12, USC still in the lead as we change sides. Love when it comes down to a third set, neck and neck. Nicolette Martin trying to go for the cut shot, just probably would have stayed in, but clipped the top of the tape.
Vanessa Frady, a sophomore from Windermere, Florida. #1 overall recruit in the class of 2014, brings the serve. Wheeler gets the swing. Dug by Sanchez, now her turn. Free ball to the Knolls. Sanchez puts it away. Tied up at 13.
And USC takes a timeout. Love the excitement. I love that all the pressure's right here, where both coaches really have a lot of confidence in their teams.
A couple hundred people gathered around court number 3. Of course, all the coaches in play. #4 Florida State, #2 USC in the team national rankings. The match on the line. See the raindrops there starting to fall. Temperature has dipped into the low 60s here. A reminder to our audience that USC will also take on LMU in the back half of this doubleheader. It's coming up later on the Pac-12 network. We'll take a quick break between duels to regroup and then bring you coverage of the Lions and the women of Troy.
Florida State with the ball right now. It's easier to side out than it is to score a point with your serve because you actually have to dig the ball. But let's see what happens here. Vanessa Frady on the line, #12 for Florida State. Looks like she might serve and run up to the net. She is the stronger blocker of the two. That's the best matchup.
First generation American, born to Brazilian parents, 13-all. There's the serve. USC unable to get that side out, and now it's match point.
Good jump float, caught Allie Wheeler a little high. The wind's kind of picked up with this rain, but it's kind of swirling both directions. No definitive good side.
What a serve, back-to-back in fact, by Vanessa Frady. And from tied at 13, they get the next 2 points and upset USC.
Florida State remains undefeated. Wow, on the season, what a birthday gift for head coach Brooke Niles.
And in the process, they snap USC's 19-match home winning streak here at Merle Norton.
Fans don't know what to think. They haven't seen that in a long time. But I think if you look at the big picture, this is going to make USC better. Couple early season losses. There's teams out there who can beat them.
And there are more teams now that it's an NCAA sponsored sport. And again, as the reigning champions, they do have the target on their back. What a road trip for the Florida State Seminoles. They will go home with an upset of #2 USC to Tallahassee.
And yesterday they beat #3.
All right, so they take down UCLA and USC in Southern California. 3-2. It was decided in a third set on court number 3 for Holly McPeak. I'm JB Long. We're coming back in just a matter of moments for the second part of our doubleheader. Beach volleyball, LMU, and the women of Troy. Again, it's coming up next on Pac-12 Network.